Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2. We have gotten out of that storehouse of very concerning tools and equipment that I hope is never used on us or other people here in the game. And now the festival is ending. So, let us continue on and see what will happen. Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, leading an empty feeling of isolation to the place.
どうだい? 面白かったかい?
Yeah, I guess you could say it was. Tomatake-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. He should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were.
富武さんと一緒に留守番をしてればよかったです。
Tomatake-san laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings.
シオンちゃんはどうだったかな? 怖かったかい?
一応心の準備があった分怖くはなかったですけど、でもやっぱり実物は迫力あります。
Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid, but seeing how I was in a way worse state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. Yeah, we felt them chills. We heard those little, musical chimes whenever things got spooky. As Tomatake-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself.
高野さんはおとなしく見物してたかな?
Not really.
ほら、彼女子供っぽいところがあるだろ? 宝の山を前にさぞや興奮してたんじゃないかと思ってね。
Oh, bro, it's like this was her fetish or something. Both Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer. Yeah, that works.
見るだけならいいんだけどね。こっそりと何かを持ち出したり、いじくりすぎて細具を壊したりしないかが心配なんだよ。
Right. That is quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket. And that's what will get her killed.
やりかねないです。
Shion said what I was thinking.
本当に何も壊したりしなかったかな。なんだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたからね。僕は不安で。
ごめんなさい。フィルムがなくなっちゃったわ。ジローさん、フィルムが余ってたら分けてくれないかしら。
Well, I guess this was prior to the digital age. Takano-san suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomatake-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature and experienced.
もう予備のフィルムは切れちゃったよ。申し訳ないね。
もういついかなる時でもフィルムを残しておかないと決定的スクープ写真なんか撮れないわよ。仕方ないわね。
Tomatake-san scratched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done here. Takano-san seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside. And then closed the door and turned to the heavy padlock we'd left beside it.
高野さん、何も持ち出してないだろうね。
失礼ね。そこまで子供じゃないつもりよ。
Clack. Tomatake-san, or I guess just Tomatake in this case, fuck me, set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all.
よし、僕たちも沢に行こう。綿を流すところくらいやらないとお祭りに来た意味がないよ。
Tomatake-san spoke brightly, urging us all on. Setting cotton afloat down the stream, I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Takano-san, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse.
もうこれっきりにしてくれよ。十分に知的好奇心は満たせただろう。
まさか。むしろ新しい興味を惹かれるような発見ばかりよ。今日のでこれまでの仮説が一気に現実になったわ。 これで今後の調べ方がだいぶ変わってくるんだから。
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have the opportunity to do that. Wow, she's truly indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else, still interested in all this through and through. I was wondering what happened to my music. We descended the stone stairs and all the people crowding the stream came to view. Near the bottom of the stairs we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them, and then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over.
まずったな。綿流しの一番いいところを撮影し損ねたよ。
あら、まだ遅くないわよ。私が行って流すんだから。私を撮ってはくださらないのかしら？
Takano-san, with an impish expression, brought her head to Toмотake-san's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Toмотake-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman.
じゃあね。前原くん、しおんちゃんも。
僕たちは今からでも沢に行ってみるよ。君たちも一緒に来るかい？
まさかお二人の邪魔なんてできません。どうぞごゆっくり。
Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Toмотake-san, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps.
疲れちゃいました。
同感だな。俺も疲れた。
ケイちゃんは綿流し初めてなんですよね。私なんか気にしないで行ってきてください。私は疲れちゃったんで、人混みはちょっとパスしておきます。
Yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony.
お姉たちがケイちゃんのことを探してるかもしれませんから、行ってきてください。
あ、そうだ。ミオンたちと別れたままそれっきりだったな。探してると悪い。
Then, Shion suddenly got a playful look on her face, then put her index finger to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret.
お姉ってすっごく嫉妬深いんです。私がケイちゃんを独占してたことがバレると、いろいろうるさいんで、今夜のことは秘密にしておいてくださいね。
Didn't mean to jump ahead there. Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing.
そういう意味だけじゃないですよ。今夜、私たちがしたことを思えば、秘密にするのは当然です。
Which I feel will unfortunately, just like in Chapter 1, draw us further apart from our friends and lead to a whole bunch of misunderstandings and then just a fucking mess.
今夜起こるかもしれないお社様のたたり。私たち4人が最有力候補なんですからね。
The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing.
じゃあ、私はお姉に出くわす前に退散します。今日は本当に疲れてるから、お姉とやり合えるだけの体力はないですし。
シオンって、ミオンと仲がいいのか悪いのか、よくわからないな。
仲、いいですよ。
Yeah, say that without the ellipses. Though as she said that, her vague expression explained that there are a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins.
俺は一人っ子だからよくわかんないな。せいぜい仲良くしろよ。
はい。余計なおせっかいと受けたまわります。それじゃあ私はこの辺で。ケイちゃんも急いで行った方がいいですよ。本当に綿流しが終わっちゃいます。
Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me.
でも本当に、あの音は何だったんでしょうね。不愉快というか、気味が悪いというか。
Wait, what sound?
何の音だって？
音ですよ。
Oh, that's right.
ドタンバタンって。うるさかったじゃないですか。
I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. Wasn't it like you would hear like jingle jangle? Wasn't that what we heard? I stared hard at her too.
ごめん、シオン。はしょらないで最初から説明してくれないか。何がうるさかったって？
ケイちゃん、あれ、 気にならなかったんですか？
When all is said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages.
シオン、冗談抜きで初めから説明してくれないか。音がどうしたって？
ケイちゃんこそ冗談抜きで本当に気にならなかったんですか？
Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at each other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her and asked politely one more time.
もう一度聞くからな。質問は俺からだ。
Shion nodded silently.
じゃあ聞くぞ。音がしたって何のことだ？
ドタンバタンって、なんだかどこか遠くの板の間で子供が跳ねてるような。
Yeah, I mean, Toмотake said that he heard the same thing, right?
本当に気にならなかったんですか？
気にならないも何も。そんな音いつ聞こえた？俺は何も聞いてないぞ。
ちょっとケイちゃん、それ本気で言ってるんですか？
Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further, her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about, but if it has Shion acting so like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps and sent a chill down my spine.
さっき最後伝の中で高野さんと一緒に見て回ってる最中、高野さんが昔話を始めた頃からかな。
About the time that she started her stories. So, 2 episodes ago.
少しずつだんだんとちょくちょくと
She heard a banging sound like a child jumping on distant floorboards.
嘘だろ？最後の最後で怖がらせるのはなしだぜ、おい。
Yeah, we didn't hear shit like that. I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening.
ケイちゃんこそ怖がらせないでください。なんだか高野さんの怖い話に合わせて音を立ててるようで、私ずっと薄気味悪かったんですから。
The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over.
ケイちゃんも高野さんも全然意にも介さない風だったので、私も聞こえないふりをずっとしてましたけど、聞こえましたよね。何度かはすごく大きな音でしたから。
I mean, I don't remember shit, to be completely honest. Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. And I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes suggested something entirely different. A you've gotta be kidding look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. Should that make Shion, who heard it, tremble, or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made that decision before I did.
なんだよ、突然。
引っかかりましたね、ケイちゃん。嘘ですよ。
はあ？
Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me on the back. Her smile seemed somehow artificial and actually made me feel worse. Yeah, she's lying. She heard something for sure. And then, after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic, diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said that she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Toмотake-san said the same thing, didn't he?
な
Yeah.
んだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたからね。
Yeah, see? Alright, here we go.
僕は不安で。
Toмотake-san, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. And then that noise. It was real? The banging sounds. Sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards far away. The Yashiro-sama's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano-san, Tomatake-san, Shion, and yours truly. The bustling of the people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, and yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted in my mind. And then all of a sudden I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch.
ケイチ、見つけたなのです。
It was Rika-chan. When I turned around, Mion and Rena were there too.
やっと見つけた。あとはさとこか。
今年はみんなはぐれちゃったね。来年からはちゃんと合流場所を決めておきたいな。
そうだね。やっぱりお祭りはみんなと一緒でないとね。
I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
ケイチは僕の演舞はちゃんと応援してくれましたですか？
ああ、ちゃんと見てたぜ。最後までちゃんと頑張ったな。ミスもなかったし。
うん、そうだよリカちゃん。あんなのはミスのうちに入らないよ。
So there was a mistake. I tensed up as I realized I'd made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body.
ケイちゃんはやった？綿をもらって沢に流した？
You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head.
あれ？そうなのケイチくん。早く行かないと終わっちゃうよ。終わっちゃうよ。
ごめん。初めてのお祭りだからさ。よくルールがわからなくて。
そうだったね。ごめん。
Mion took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps.
ねえケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
Oh no, don't do it.
シオンには会わなかった？
Oh, whew. It got really quiet there, and I thought she was gonna do the eye thing that they did in chapter 1. I really didn't want them doing that. Oh, but they'll do that. My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mion could sense my surprise through my hand.
いや、でも、姿を見たような。でも、ミオンとそっくりだからな。ミオンだったのかもしれないし。
そんなに間違えないでしょ？服装だって違うんだから。
そうだよな。
Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip onto me.
しょうがないな、シオンは。まあ、あいつのことだから、放っておいても大丈夫かな。
Mion's expression returned to her formal, usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Well, I guess that ends that, finally. I got a little scared there. I'm glad that was nothing to be afraid of. Mion is still Mion. And not creepy at all. We have more scrapbook notes and after the festival. And I think with these tips, we can end the episode. Plumbing the depths, and there's a picture of a hoe. And no, I mean the tool hoe. Don't get the wrong idea there. Come on. Alrighty, so from the Scrapbook 4, I believe this is Uishi-san's scrapbooks. Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now. But reading back to its origins turns up as seriously something ceremony. Oh, excuse me, Sanjuin? Suspicious? Whatever. Originally, Watanagashi would happen at certain intervals, and after receiving Oyashiro-sama's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Then the entire village would kidnap or demon away the person and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune-telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onagafuji village firmly believed that they were half man, half demon transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of the villagers of the isolated Onegafuchi village. In any case, of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were. And awful. And all that. But they don't happen now, right? That's the big question. We're not still feasting on people, right? We don't think that, there's humans and demons out there, right? Right? The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and there definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. The obvious question, then, is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural implements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. And this is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. You know what? This is not Ueshi-san's scrapbooks. I mean, we literally were told that What's-Her-Face actually had a little notebook with her. This is her shit. I can't restrain my excitement. Yeah, this is definitely her. I'm sorry. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. She really treated this shit like a damn diary in some places, too. Like, I can get having some information, but she's kind of mixing in her own, thoughts and whatnot. It's notable, if anything. After the festival, so this is with Ueshi-san and all of them, I think. Late that night, tensions in the police station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him.
Oi-san! こっちは検視入りました。じいさまもさっき到着です。俺もスタンバイ OK しました。このまま焼死の現場へ直行します。
Wait, what?
クマちゃん、ちょっと話がややこしくなりました。向こうは身元の判別が非常に困難な状態だそうです。
まさか4年前のあれっすか？
いいえ、こんがりといい感じだそうで。
He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh.
頭のてっぺんから丸々？
バッチリ黒焦げだそうで、あっちの現場かわいそうだな。
Huh? Cooked with no possessions, and then discarded outside the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they stifled or sniffed it out tonight was huge.
今、小宮山君たちが沖宮の歯科医を根こそぎ予習してます。 カルテで歯型照合するしかないでしょう。ごめん、誰かきつめのタバコ2箱ぐらい買ってきてくれません？
The young guy answered in affirmation and darted out into the hallway.
今年は見事見つけましたね。ひょっとすると過去の失踪者もこんな感じで県外で殺されてたんすかね。
なら埋めればいいじゃないですか。重りつけて日本海でも。
でもどうし
Oh, my
て
bad.
一人死んで一人消えるのがこれまでのパターンじゃないですか。
クマちゃん、仏は拘束なしでドラム缶の中でこんがりでしょ。多分見つかることを覚悟の上でです。
じゃあつまり今年は消す気は初めからなかったってことっすか？
消す気がないってよりは、これはそれとは全く別のものでしょうね。消すどころか主張しているようにすら感じられますよ。
つまり見せしめの意味があるってことっすか？
He folded his arms and then heaved a long and heavy sigh.
それをしないでやってくれりゃその線もあるんですがね。こんな遠くまで運んで焼いちゃったら下手したらわかんないでしょう。見せしめにするならHinamizawaの近くでやるべきなんですよ。殺したことを主張したいのに、場所は演出効果の確実じゃない遠方。主張したいのか隠したいのか。今年は何考えてるのかな、お社様は。
A telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the receiver.
おいさん、小宮山さんです。出ました。沖宮のデンタルクリニックで3年前に親知らずの治療をしてます。
カルテは？
レントゲン付きでバッチリと。
いやー、こんな明け方前に歯医者さんには申し訳ないな。クマちゃん、小宮山君からカルテ受け取ったらすぐに出発してください。
了解っす。
課長です。夜分お疲れ様です。
大石さん、遅くなって申し訳ない。状況は？
やっと面白くなってきたってとこですかね。燃えてきたぞー。わーお。
Yeah. That was something. I don't really know what to make of all this, including that last little statement. I guess that's just something we'll have to figure out as we continue along. In the next episode, of course. I'll jump into it so I can save it properly. It is the next day, since we're apparently letting out a yawn and we can hear the chirps of the birds. So next time we'll see what happened, you know? I'm sure we'll learn of something. We kind of learned about the actual deal of the Watanagashi and Oyashiro-sama and all that before everything. And I guess we even learned much more than we did in Chapter 1 during the festival, where a lot of the things that we learned were during, or I guess near the end of the festival and after the festival in Chapter 1. Things are just totally different. There's a lot that we can expect, a lot that maybe we can't really expect. I don't know what the hell that was, or that deal was about there being a burned body. That was different. I guess we'll see what happens, or what happened in the next episode. So thank you for watching this one. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy shit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.